happy Monday to each and every one of you. I know, rough one for many of you because you're back at work for the first time in 2020. You know me, Andrew Coppins, as the host of Critical Thinking, airing every Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Time on Mojo 50 Radio. But as we enter a new year, you've also heard me tell you on the show that I was going to be experimenting with new content throughout the weeks and months ahead, because going a full week between our Critical Thinking sessions just really doesn't seem right. So I'm going to begin 2020 with this idea that I've been kicking around called food for thought. Each week, my goal will be to give you a question to ponder and hopefully spark conversation. I will not only give you the question, but some of my brief thoughts and, most importantly, the background information on the topic at hand. So once you've heard this all, you can hit me up in the comment section here on YouTube with your own answers to those questions that I pose, and hopefully we can bring some civil conversation and thoughtfulness back to the American discourse. At least that's kind of the goal here. So for the first time ever, the Critical Thinking Food for Thought question is, if Iraq doesn't want us there anymore, should we just say bye-bye to the entire Middle East? Sub-question, does Iraq actually want us gone? Now, if you missed the news on Sunday, Iraq's parliament, at least what the media is telling us, voted to ask America to leave the country in the wake of its targeted killing of Iranian Quds Force leader Qasem Soleimani on Friday. With that resolution passed, it goes to the Prime Minister, who has shockingly already indicated he would prefer to ask the Americans to leave altogether instead of remaining to help just train Iraqi troops. That bit of news would kind of seem like it would make the answer to my questions pretty easy. But you see, there are some really important facts that are being left out of the discussion on TV, or at least buried deep in the media reporting on this entire matter. First, outgoing Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi is largely putting on a show for his backers that he has Iran. Yes, the media won't tell you that Mahdi is the outgoing Prime Minister of Iraq because he was ousted due to protests over revelations of intelligence sharing between his government and the government of Iran. That certainly would indicate where his allegiances in this entire affair lie, and perhaps maybe a strong reason as to why he would want U.S. troops out of his country. Just saying. But what if I also told you that wasn't the only thing that places like the LA Times or Washington Post or your television pundits were keeping from you? Try this bit of news. Mahdi had a banner put up in the Parliament building proclaiming Iraqi militia leader Abu Mahdi Muhandis, who was killed alongside Soleimani, as a martyr. Just prior to the vote that favored expulsion of U.S. troops, by the way, another clear indication once again of where allegiances for the Iraqi government lie under Mahdi's care. Now, if you believe the person who led the actual physical attacks on the U.S. Embassy to be a martyr, you're not a friend of ours in the first place. But wait, there is more. How about the final strike against this narrative that Iraq just wants to expel the U.S. military? Because that's the headline and the information that's being passed along on almost every TV show imaginable, as if it's the gospel truth. I present to you the actual truth, though. Mahdi, that puppet of Iran, got his expulsion order by crooked means. You see, the real truth is buried 3/4 of the way down to the articles and not even mentioned across your TV outlets. And that truth? Only 173 of the 329 members of parliament even voted, with it taking extreme pressure to even get the Shiite members of parliament to get a quorum together to get the vote to happen. Did you know that the Kurdish and Sunni members of parliament refused to even be involved in the vote because they saw it as a sham? So remember that 2/3 of the major ethnic groups in the country wanted nothing to do with this vote. It was all about the Iranian-backed side of things getting a measure of revenge for the killing of Soleimani. Now for the media's part in all of this. Don't you think that this information should have, been included in the first few paragraphs instead of paragraphs 20 and 21? It's almost like they don't want you to know this information because that actually might change what you're being sold as this overall narrative by the media on the Soleimani killing. Mainly that Trump is bad, did a bad thing, and there will be bad consequences, and now see, we're even being expelled as a result of our badness. Why does the location of this information matter? Well, because newspapers and writers are supposed to structure articles with the most important and pertinent information up front, thus allowing the reader to be informed of the actual facts, and then they can make their own decisions. But that's not how this has been working for a while now. On a topic this important, though, it should be obvious how this story should be written. It should be written that Iraq's parliament voted the way that they did. and then follow that up with the information that the vote was done on largely ethnic lines, as well as done at the behest of a leader of the country who is under the thumb of Iran to begin with. The story and the headline should be really easy to write. The headline should go something like this: Iraqi parliament controversially votes to expel U.S. military after pressure from Iranian-backed prime minister. So now that you know the real story, what should the answers to the questions that I posed be? Well, clearly, we've already answered the second question. Then that is that the majority really do not want us gone. It's just that corrupt power has gotten its way. Sound familiar? As for the first question, I say give Iraqi and Iranian leadership what they think they want, but also pull out of all of the Middle East and let them fight their own centuries-old ethnic crap. We have tried to build democracy. We have tried to build ideals of secular freedom. We have tried training troops to be non-sectarian warriors. We have tried everything over there. None of it is really working. It's time to bring the troops home. We have an entire adult generation, my generation, that has known only war or proxy war over there. I say let them fight it out. If they turn their countries into shitholes, so be it. Why not leave Iraq by flipping the double birds at their Iranian-loving leadership and casting a few bombs astray on the way out? Whoops, our bad. Oh, and just a reminder that we can and will destroy you if you want to mess with us again. As for our actual allies in the region, Israel, well, the good news there is you are more than capable of handling your own crap. And we're very happy to back you up as you need. We don't need to be the Middle East policeman anymore. We don't need war with Iran either, because we gave the opposition there a huge help by killing Soleimani. But the opposition was already starting to win, according to the sources I have spoken with there. What the opposition needs now is Europe to stop funding Iranian terrorism and internal killing by stopping their trade agreements with the leadership in Iran. Cut off the funding, and they are the weakest they have ever been. What the media, again here in America, won't tell you is that the opposition in Iran is nearly there in completing the toppling of the terrorist regime. And they just need a little more help to get all the way there. But don't believe me, listen to the last episode of Critical Thinking where I featured Iranian opposition spokesman Shaheen Gabati. What say you? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit us up. Start the conversation over on Twitter, on Facebook. You know the drill. My goal here is to start conversations and not fights. So let's let critical thinking and not emotions be our guide, please. I'm Andrew Coppins. This has been your hashtag Food for Thought. You can continue the conversation, like I said, in the comment section, Facebook, Twitter, at The Coppins Show. And I'll see you on Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Time for Critical Thinking on Mojo 50 Radio.